Hello everyone, my name is the Emerald or Emerald for short, and today we are going to be looking over the 2.4 characters. Now these leaks came out a couple days ago. I am late on this, but that was because I'm not gonna lie, it was too hot and I didn't care to record. But we're good now. We can go in and talk about these kits. Now I will not be showing the animations, just my own personal reasoning. I don't know. I feel like just to be safe, I'm not going to show them, but you can go ahead and look them up yourself. They're all over the internet. You can find them yourself. Sum it up. I think Yunli counters are really good looking. Jiaoqiu has a really cool looking ult, and March is just a really cute ult. Like, it's just really cute overall. So yeah, with that being said, we're gonna go straight into the characters. I'm gonna be talking about the characters, their kits, their light cones, and overall what I think about all of them. So we're going to be first starting off with Yunli, the 5-star destruction character. So off the bat, I'll just give my general synopsis of what I think they are. This is Clara 2.0. I'm sorry to all you Clara mains out there, but this might be the next best character to go for if you use Clara. So here in Lons, what they look like, I think it's really cool. E3 is just adorable. Here's a render. It's pretty cool. So first off, let's go straight into the stats. So she has about 1358 HP, 679 attack, 460 defense, 94 speed, and the taunt will always be the same. So let's pull up Clara as a reference because we're going to be directly comparing her to Clara because they're basically one and the same. So if we look, she actually has less attack and less defense, but much higher HP than Clara does. And also a bit more speed, which is pretty big. So there's that. Going into essential materials, you can look here. I'll pull up here. You need the IPC work permit. You need dream making engines and their more common counterparts. The current destruction materials needed that came out with Pinakani, so you can pre-farm her now if you want to with the Sunday boss drop. So you can pre-farm her now. You can pre-farm every character here if you want to. So go ahead and do that if you want to. So her trace materials is the exact same deal. So before we go into Adalots, I think it's important to go into the overall kit so you get a better understanding of what everything is. So base attack is generic. It just does damage to one person, nothing revolutionary. The skill restores HP equal to a percentage of her attack plus a flat number, and deals physical damage equal to a percentage of her attack to a single enemy, and then a lower percentage of her, that's supposed to be her attack, not Traveler's attack. A physical damage equal to a lower percentage of her attack to enemies adjacent to it. So it's a blast skill. So keep that in mind. Unlike Clara's is AoE, so this is not going to hit as many people, but it will do a bit more damage to those specific enemies you target. Now the ultimate, this is where things can get very interesting. So consumes 120 energy. It should be important to note that she can hold up to 240 energy. So it's similar to Argenti in the case where Argenti can hold up to 180 energy, but you can use his ultimate early at 90, right? So it's kind of like that. So you'll consume a certain amount of energy, you'll get blocked and taunt all enemies, lasting until the next turn of an allied or enemy unit. While block is active, Yunli's crit damage increased by percentage. Right here is a 60 to 120. When the counter talent effect is triggered while block is active, it will be switched to a counter into a call effect and also dispel block. This one is a wording mishap. It's supposed to say if counters are not triggered while block is active, when the effect ends, you will immediately launch a into it slash effect on a random enemy target. When into it slash is inflicted, it will cause the next into it slash from into it pull. So keep that in mind. Into it slash will deal physical damage to the target equal to a percentage of attack, and deal physical damage to adjacent targets equal to a lower percentage of attack. And Cull is the exact same thing, but stronger in the case that it'll do 6 hits of damage, and each hit will do a percentage of her attack to a random single enemy target. So keep that in mind. And this is all viewed as ultimate damage. Now, important to note that in this, while they are kind of as ultimate damage and follow-up attack damage, because counters are follow-up attacks, it's going to take in the ultimate damage priority. So, for example, in Inert Salsado, you won't get double the damage because of both. It'll take in as only one. Keep that in mind. So, When Yunli is attacked by an enemy target, immediately launch a counter on the attacker, dealing physical damage equal to 60% of Yunli's attack, and physical damage to adjacent targets equal to 30% of her attack. This is where the better portion of Clara is. Clara has a similar thing where when she attacks, she launches the counter. However, Clara is a single target until she ults, where she has limited amounts of usages where she can do an enhanced counter, which becomes blast. Here, it's not the case. Here, it's blast all the way through while she's on field, which is pretty strong. And she has a heal skill, so take that as you will. Technique gains the ward effect for 15 seconds, and when entering combat by attacking enemies or receiving an attack, immediately inflicts Cull on a random enemy target and increases attack's damage by 80%. So if you use it, you will absolutely kill someone. So keep that in mind. So now we can go into her traces. She gets 28% attack, 8% HP, and 6% crit rate. Pretty interesting she gets HP from this, but hey, who am I to judge? Upon being attacked, Yunli additionally regenerates 15 extra energy, so really helps with getting her ultimate. Keep that in mind. Demon Claw, while in the block state, resists the crowd control debuff received and reduce damage received by 20%. And then True Sunder, when using a counter, increase Yunli's attack by 30% for 1 turn. I'm assuming that doesn't stack, so keep that in mind, I guess. So there's that. We'll go into our Eidolons now. E1, Weather Blade does not sully. Damage from Intuit Slash and Intuit Cull increases by 20%, and Intuit Cull's extra damage hits increases by 3. So you do more damage hits on that stronger version of the counter. So keep that in mind. E2, Yunli increases her own crit rate by 18% at the end of the turn, lasting until the beginning of the next turn. This is supposed to help with the counters. If you get this, you'll get up to about 24% crit rate just by her own kit, which is pretty good. When Yunli deals damage via launching a counter, ignores 20% of the target's defense. This is E4, Artisan's Iron Song. This is really strong, but it is E4, so I don't know if it's worth going for that. And E6, Walking Blade, Talking Zither. After using ultimate, if the next unit to act is an enemy unit, Intuit Cull will be triggered regardless of whether it is targeting Yunli, and the block effect provided by the ultimate will not be dispelled and will last to the end of the next turn. Remember, when your block gets triggered, you'll do Cull, right? You'll do the Cull, and it's supposed to dispel block, right? And then it says it won't be dispelled, so that's pretty strong if you ask me. You'll be able to do multiple Culls before her next action. So overall, this character is very strong by looking at it, though I don't know if it's worth grabbing, just solely based on the fact that Firefly's out now, and I don't think she's going to do better than Firefly. There's a small chance, but I heavily doubt it. I heavily do. But hey, strong character. If you like her, go for it. Won't stop you at all. I might do it. We'll see what happens. It depends on my luck with Jade. So, next character we're going to talk about is Jiaoqiu. Definitely the interesting character of the bunch. He is a 5-star Nihility, Fire. And he seems pretty freaking damn good. Here is Eidolons, pretty cool. His E3 is funny. And then look at E2, you see his eyes, so you know this is a big deal. So, here's the character. Here's his render, looks pretty cool. I believe this is the first playable Foxian male, so that's pretty cool. So, we're going to go into his stats. Comparatively, there's not a really good character to compare him to, because Nihility doesn't have these kind of like debuff characters that aren't dot. So I think it's best to just compare him to either Silverwolf or Welt. We'll use Silverwolf for the time being, but it's going to be very hard to compare this. So Silverwolf has 107 speed with 1040 HP, 460 defense, and 640 attack. Jiaoqiu has much lower attack. Oh, that was higher. Much lower attack, but much higher defense and less attack and less HP with less speed too, which is pretty interesting overall for this kind of character, but it's fine. His trace materials are right here. You need the new Nihility ones that came out with Black Swan, the Fire Raging Heart, the Shard's Desire and their corresponding materials, and the Sunday boss drop, like everyone here except for March, because she's an interesting character. We'll get into her. So next, we'll come back into Eidolons later, because again, to understand the character, I think we need to understand the kit. So base attack, nothing unique. They're gonna do almost nothing unique outside of Jade because of her blast. Sorry, base attack, which is pretty interesting. Skill deals fire damage equal to 90% or 25% of his attack to a single enemy, and fire damage equal to 2% of his attack to enemies adjacent to it, which is blast. It has a 100% base chance to inflict 1 stack of roasty ash on the primary target. We'll get to that in a second. Pyograph Arcanum is ultimate. 100 energy, which is realistically cheap. The only other character I know that has 100 energy off the top of my head, I think is like, I want to say it's one of the Hunt characters. No, yeah, Don Hunt. Don Hunt has 100 energy on his. And I think one other character, Misha. Yeah, Misha. I don't think anyone else has it. I don't think the Trailblazer. Yeah, it's 120. Yeah, this is for what he does, it's very cheap. So sets the number of ashen roast stacks of enemy targets to the highest number of stacks present on the battlefield. Then activates a field and deals fire damage equal to 120% or 240 if it's maxed of his attack to all enemies. While inside the field, enemy targets take a percentage increased ultimate damage with a base chance of being inflicted with 1 stack of ashen roast when taking action. This effect can only be triggered once for enemies in each turn. The field lasts for 3 turns and is raised to by 1/3 of Jiaoqiu's every turn, and if he's knocked down, the field will be dispelled. His talent, Quartet Finesse Octave Finery. When Jiaoqiu uses base attack skill ultimate to hit an enemy, there's a 100% base chance of dealing 1 stack of roasty ash, which I think is the same thing as this, increasing the initial damage enemy received by a percentage, with each stack additionally increasing damage by another percentage to a max of 5 stacks, which with roasty ash lasting 2 turns. This is a very strong debuff, I will say is now. Very strong. Technique. After using technique, creates a special dimension that lasts for 15 seconds. After engaging enemies in the dimension, deals fire damage equal to 100% of his attack to enemies and the 5% base chance of applying 1 roasty ash stack. Only one dimension created by allies can exist at the same time. Pretty good overall, I think. Being able to apply roasty ash immediately is really strong. My only problem is it's a dimension, and if you're in multiple dimensions, you just have to choose what you go with, which is not my biggest, I'm not a big fan of that, but it's fine. So, traces. He gets effect hit rate, fire damage bonus, and speed. I'm gonna be real, bro. I don't like it when they add speed to traces. Like this kit, like they could have added this to base kit and then make this like effect resistance or something, or attack. But no, they want to make sure they do this. I don't know. It just seems like a very iffy thing to do. Like you could have had 103 speed to off rip and have a bit more attack, but it's whatever. Pyre Cleanse. When a field exists, the enemy's effect hit rate is reduced by 30%. I think that increases. At the start of each turn, they receive fire damage equal to a percentage of Jiaoqiu's attack. This is really strong. It's basically like a mini dot. It's not the exact same because it's not like you're applying burn, but it's something similar to that. When Hearth Kindle, when Jiaoqiu's effect hit rate is higher than 80%, for each 50% exceeded, Jiaoqiu additionally gains 6% attack up to a max of 240%. So to get the max out of this, I believe you need 140% effect hit rate. Yeah. I believe this is less than Black Swan, who I think only needed 120, if I remember correctly. So it's right here, I think? Yeah. Increases this unit's damage by amount equal to 60% effect rate up to max damage 72%. If I pull up the calculator real quick and do the math. Let me just do this real quick. Yeah, you only needed 120. So this character needs 20% more effect hit rate, which is pretty interesting because it's pretty hard to get effect hit rate overall, I think. I mean, it can be, but he gets a lot of effect rate from here, so you might be able to have an easier time. When a field exists, enemies attempting the battle are inflicted with roasty ash, and these stacks inflicted the same as the highest stack of roasty ash currently inflicting the enemy in the battle with a minimum of 1 stack. So that's pretty good. So this is helpful for things like Pure Fiction, right? Or Apocalypse Shadow, where when enemies enter the field, bam, they get applied with stack. Really good there. Or even MOC. He's good pretty much anywhere, I think. So is that, and going right into Eidolon's Telepathic Transference. E1, when an ally attacks an enemy target inflicted with roasty ash, increases damage dealt by 48%. let's be clear about this. Not only remember, Rose the Ash is also increasing damage received, and if the ult was there, if he has ult field up, he's doing more ult damage. So you can do a lot of damage just E1. And each time talent triggers Rose the Ash, just increase the present Rose the Ash stacks by 1. E1 is immensely powerful. Oh, I didn't go for the light cone. I'll go back to get these light cone. I completely forgot the light cone. E2, from Saber comes Suffer. The Ashen Rose state can be seen as a burn state. This is where if you want to use him with Dot, you're gonna have to go for E2. Each stack of Ashen Rose will deal Fire Dot equal to 3% of Jiaoqiu's attack at the start of the enemy's turn. This is really, really high. Like, for example, Arcana can do damage too, but Arcana is a bit less than that, right? Because look, it only does 240%, and it increases damage by like up to 50 times, right? But you're really gonna get maybe like up to like maybe 12 before it goes away, unless you ult for this. So let's say you have, if I'm after right, let's say you have like 4 stacks, right? You're gonna do those 4 stacks, like 300% 4 times. Absolutely crazy. It's each stack of Ashen Rose. Unless I'll have to go look to see if there's any difference. Let me go quickly check if this was rewritten in any of the things. Alright, yeah, I just checked, and there's nothing in the things here that, let me just stop. There's nothing in there that says like it only triggers once. This is just that high, which is really good. So yeah, if you want to run him on Dot, try to go for E2. It'll make life a lot easier. E4, Leisure in, Luster out. When the field exists, reduce enemy targets attack by 50%. Solid overall. I wish it was a damage belt, but hey, we take what we can get. And then E6, Nonomorphic Pyrobond. When the enemy target is defeated, existing Rose TH stacks will be transferred to a surviving enemy with the lowest amount of Rose TH stacks. Increases max stacks to 9, and every stack will reduce all enemies' all-type resistance by 3%. Now, this can be, if you pair this up with, so let's go with this. Let's say you are the biggest Omega Whale known to man, right? You could combine this with Acheron and Runmei to do insane damage. Because at E6 for Acheron, she increases the all-type resistance penetration for the ultimate damage by 20%. And I believe she also does she do more? I don't remember. I don't have the character, so I don't remember exactly what she does. Yeah, right here. Yeah, right here. When she reaches 9 points, ult can be activated during the ultimate, reduce enemy's toughness, prevent weakness type, and reduce all enemies' ultimate resistance by 20%, lasting the enemy ultimate. Which stacks on top of this, which is 40%. Now, just from Acheron alone, Rodmay's ultimate gives you about 25%. So you're already at 65%. I don't know if Eidolons give any. Let me quickly check. You use your defense. That's not what I'm looking for. No, you don't. Okay, so there's that. So it's 65 with these two characters, and then with his E6, you can nullify 27. So you're now up to 80. What? It's like 88. No, 90 something. I think you're at 65 with these two, and then 27 here. Yeah, it's like 92% all type resist penetration. So if you get E6 Acheron, E6 Jiaoqiu, you probably just kill anything in the game. I don't think there's a single thing that lasts unless... No, even the enemies that like have a bunch of resistance, you'll just penetrate through it. Alright? So... yeah. Because for example, let me pull this up here. It's... the one I'm thinking about is this guy right here. The Shell of Fated thing. While he has his thing up, he is like immune to like everything. Yeah, reduced damage received. Right? So I think you could just beast for him as well. So yeah, this character is really strong. Let's go over his light cone before I forget. So this is the art, which is really nice. You get to see his eye. I'm gonna make a big deal of it. I just find it funny. And then here it is. Those many springs, 5-star agility. And then here's the stats. I'm not gonna go too much into that unless they buff it or change it. Also, I'm gonna say it at the end of the video. I'll say it there. So, the effect. Worldly affairs leave no mark. Increase the wearer's effect hit rate by 60 to 100% if you max. Now, if the target is not under the unarmored effect by the wearer, when the wearer uses base text for ult, there's 6% base chance to inflict that status unarmored to the enemy. So, with how much effect hit rate you're gonna be having, you're almost definitely gonna hit that unless they have like, I don't know, 50% effect resistance. Under the unarmored state, the target enemy's damage received is increased by 10%, lasting for 2 turns. And when the wearer does damage to an enemy with this effect inflicted by themselves, there seems a base chance to escalate the unarmored state for them into the cornered state, which increases the target's enemy's damage received by 18%. So really good. Helps you just do more damage overall. Really strong character. Let's go back to Yunli quickly. Let's go over her light cone. Here's the art. Looks really adorable. I like it a lot. So, Hands at Sunset, which is a 5-star destruction. Here are the stats. And Deeply Engrossed. Odd name. Greatly increases the odds that the wearer will be attacked, which helps because she counters every time she gets hit. Increases the wearer's crit damage and increase the wearer's crit damage by 36%. Pushing up to 60 if he maxed out. After the wearer used their ultimate, they receive 1 stack of fire dance, lasting for 2 turns and up to 2 stacks. Each stack of fire dance increases the damage dealt by the wearer's follow attack by 36%, which is pretty good. So this is, remember, she can do up to 2 ultimates because she can hold up to that much energy. So keep that in mind. Overall, pretty strong light cone overall. So now we're going to go into quite possibly now I'm not the biggest fan of this, but I like the character, don't get me wrong, but the kit is just, oh boy. So we have Hunt March 7th, who is a 4-star imaginary character. Already off the bat, you hear 4-star in Hunt, and you're already thinking, this isn't gonna go too well. And then you'd be right. So here are Eidolons, very adorable, really cool. I really like the E4. The stance is cool. I think this is one of our first, if not our first, dual-wielding character with swords. So, don't know how to feel about that. Here's a render. Looks really nice. Looks really cool. So, here are her stats. Let's quickly pull up. To make this fair, we have to compare it to another 4-star. So, I like to compare it to Shushang. These two are very similar in terms of, like, just overall, I think, just stats. Also, I think Dong Hong is a bit unfair. We can also pull Dong Hong, though, because he is free. And maybe we do want him as a free character. So, we'll compare both. So, she has 917 HP, 564 attack, 418 defense, and 107 speed. She has the same speed as March. Wait. Oh, she has the exact same stats as Shushang. Okay. Because Dong Hong has much higher speed. Okay. So she has the exact same stats as Shushang. Okay. That's good. It was good to know. Okay. So there's a crazy character. I didn't know they had the exact same stats. I know they had similar stats, but I didn't know they were exact same. Alright, we'll come back to the Eidolons again, just to go over what she does. So, base attack is slightly unique, but only in the fact that it does something else. So, it does the exact same word, just the magic damage to 1 target. And then she'll actually get a charge. What that charge does, we'll go into this. Alright, skill, master, it's tea time. Yeah, I gotta admit that my sword zaps demons, master, tea time, these are just funny names. So, designates a single ally, excluding this character, as the master and increases master speed by 6%, which can go up to, I'm assuming, about 10%. Only the latest target of March 7th skill will be regarded as her master. When using base attack or dealing damage from 1 hit of her enhanced base attack, which we'll get into, triggers the following effects based on the specific path of the master, which, very interesting. Erudition, if your master is in the Erudition, Destruction, or the Hunt path, additionally deals additional damage equal to 10% of March 7th attack, which can go up higher. So, interesting, I guess. But it's a percentage of her attack and not the person you picked, which I find really iffy. If your master is in the Harmony, Nihility, Preservation, or Abundance path, which are the support paths, iffy, then the toughness reduction for the damage increases by 100%. This is really good for if you want to run around Super Break, but you probably won't for reasons. But pretty solid overall. Not the biggest fan of this pick, like this whole path thing, because if they ever add a new path, they're gonna have to update this, right? Or else that character is just unrunnable. It seems to me that they won't add a new path for a while, because if that was the case, they wouldn't make this character. But okay. Alright, Ultimate, March 7th, the Apex Heroine. Less energy needed than Shushang's at 110. She deals a magic damage to a single target enemy, and increases the initial hits per action of the next enhanced base attack by 2 hits, and increases the fixed chance of additionally dealing damage by 20%. Yeah, so we'll get into that. So, Master, I've Ascended. Oh yeah, Master of the Apex Heroine. Master, I've Ascended. Really good names, again. After the Master using the attacker ultimate, March 7 gains up to 1 charge each time. When it charges at 7 or more, March 7 immediately takes action again and increases the damage she does by 40 to 100%. I'm assuming 100% that's E6, which, according to leaks, you should be able to get all of Eidolons for free, so keep that in mind. Her base attack is enhanced, and only her enhanced base attack can be used. After using the enhanced base attack, consumes 7 charge. Beast in one go technique. If March 7 is in the team, every time an ally uses technique, March 7 gains a stack charge upon entering the next battle up to 3 charges. So that's interesting, I guess. After using your technique, March 7 regenerates 30 energy upon entering the next battle. And then this is the enhanced base attack. Growls be smitten, heart be bitten. Sure. This attack deals 3 hits per action initially, and remember, when you ult, you increase it by 2. Each hit against the target enemy deals imaginary damage equal to 50% of March 7's attack. After doing the final hit, there's a 60% pitch chance to deal 1 extra hit up to 3 extra hits. And remember that this increases again with ultimate about up to 20%. So they're really wanting you to use the ultimate before you use the enhanced base attack. So, energy regenerated from using enhanced base attack does not increase the number of hits per action. So, great. And enhanced base attack cannot recover skill points, which I think is a big oversight, but whatever. So, traces. She has 20% attack, 12% crit rate, that's rounded, so keep that in mind, it's rounded, and 12.5% defense. Pretty interesting. Soaring Swan. When the battle starts, March 7's actions advance forward by 20%. This is a lot of lines of Wei Knifin, Robin, those characters that just go, just bring themselves up further. Acute Smarts. March 7 can reduce the toughness of enemies with weakness of Master's type. When inflicting weakness break, also triggers the imaginary weakness break effect. It says it's also, so I would wonder if it hits both imaginary and the Masters, but I have no idea. Gliding Waves. When Masters on the field, increase March 7's speed by 10%. So that's pretty good. She has 107, so this increases speed by close to 118, which is pretty good. So, we're going to go over her Eidolons now. The fact they give her defense was kind of wild in my opinion, but whatever. Eidolons, remember, all of these should be free according to leaks, so keep that in mind. E1, my sword stirs starlight. Face us. After using ultimate, increase the crit damage to the next enhanced base attack by 36%, which is pretty solid, I think. Blade dances on waves fight. Sure. After the master uses their base attack or skill to attack an enemy, March 7 immediately launches a follow-up attack and deals a magic damage equal to 60% of her attack to a target enemy. Additionally, triggers the effect corresponding to the Master's path, so I believe it has to do with the skill, where if they're this, you deal more damage, and if they're this, you would do more toughness damage, which is pretty solid. And gain 1 charge. If there's no target enemy that can be attacked, so for example, let's say you kill with the Master, then she'll just target a random enemy. This effect can only be triggered once per turn. E4, being fabulous never frights. At the start of the turn, it regenerates 5 energy. Sure. And me, the best girl on site, which is incredibly wrong, but whatever. After using enhanced base attack, increase the Master's crit damage by 6% and break effect by 36%, lasting for 2 turns. So, overall, I think the character is alright. I think. Nothing too crazy. However, E6, you can make a really weird argument that this could be used as a pseudo support. It's not the greatest support because you have to use enhanced base attack, but you could, in theory, use this as a pseudo support for Firefly or Boot Hill to increase break effect and the crit damage. Which, I mean, take as you will, right? Overall, I think this character is okay, but because she's 4-star hunt, I'm not too... And she's not break-based either. So that's really not working into her stance of doing a lot of damage. So, we'll see. But I don't have the highest hopes for this character overall. But she has really cool animations, so... That's something, right? So, here's the 4-star light cone, which looks really cool, right? It's not for her. It's a 4-star harmony light cone, which I am... hoping it's not something little, but it might be because we'll just get into it. Poised to bloom. Lose not, forget not. Increase the word's attack by a percentage, and upon entering the battle, if there are 2 or more allies in the team who follow the same path, These characters' crit damage increased by a percentage. Abilities of the same type cannot stack. So this is good in a very, very niche situation. Now, so what I thought initially was, oh, if it matches the wearer's pick, which is Harmony, but that's not the case. It's just any allies who match the same path, which is interesting. Now, my problem with that is the only path I consider it being reasonably useful for is Nihility, because Acheron works with other Nihility characters. You need at least one or more of her for it to work, so you might as well just throw it on your Harmony character. She's E2, right? But if you don't have E2, then this is worthless because you have to have you need 2 other Nihility characters, and your fourth one will probably just be like a sustainer, so you won't be able to use this light cone. You could, in theory, use this with another Harmony, like Sparkle, so to increase the crit damage, so she gets more out of it, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like that's really like hit or miss, right? Like, is it realistically better? Like, okay, let's say this right now. The only Harmony characters I think can really benefit from this is Ting Yun and Yukong. Maybe Robin, but honestly, the other 4-star light cone that came out with it, they pull it up. The other 4 one is, I think, much better overall. Let me pull it up real quick. It is this one, for Tomorrow's Journey, which increases your attack, and then afterwards, open increase the damage up by 18% lasts for 1 turn. Now, obviously, it's not like grand because it increases their damage dealt by 18%, which is really interesting. Like, I don't really get that one, but honestly, overall, I think it's a little better, just in terms of like what you're doing. But I mean, it depends if it's summonable. If it's summonable, then absolutely just I don't even think it's worth going for, unless you want to run Acheron with E2 Acheron with like a support. Then yeah, sure, go ahead. Erudition could benefit off this, right? It could, but I don't know. Hunt definitely doesn't. You have unless you're running Topaz and Ratio, then it's not useful. And then Destruction, I don't see you running 2 Destruction characters unless it's like Yunli and like Clara. That's bad. So yeah, there's that. Not the biggest fan of how they went about that, but let's see. I'm hoping this is free, but nothing in the thing says it is, so let's see how it goes, I guess. It's also a very small amount of crit damage at S1. Like, it's 16%. At S5, like, if it increased by 32% up to 60, yeah, it would have been better, but it's not. Overall, I think this light cone is iffy. I mean, if it's summonable, don't go for it. Don't like absolutely go for it. Now, if it's on the banner that you're going for, absolutely go. Just do it for the light cone you're going for, and not this. But there's better options. And Hunt March herself is, we'll have to see how she performs. But because she's 4-star and the Hunt, and not break based, I don't have the highest hopes for her. But hey, I've been proven wrong before, so we'll see. Overall, this patch seems overall interesting. Jiaoqiu is a really nice support for Acheron. This is the support Acheron needed, so it helps a lot. You can also use it with Firefly, because Firefly, when she ults, everything's to the ult damage, so keep that in mind. Yunli seems like a Clara 2.0, which is really nice. We need a new thoughts of destruction, and, well, physical. And we got it. And March seems okay. Here are the light cones again. We are getting some new events, which I can't show here because this site is not really great at it. We don't know anything about reruns yet. When we do know, I'll probably just say in my community tab. I'm too lazy to make a video on that. But remember, I should say this now. These are all at version 1. They will go through 4 versions of changes, so we'll have to see how they look later on. Every week or so, we should get changes. So in the next, I want to say, couple of days, we should get version 2 changes. So let's see what happens. No new relics, by the way, so we'll see there. But yeah, pretty cool character overall. If you're gonna summon for them, let me know who you're gonna be going for. And I hope you get what you want. Voice cracked. And yeah, hope you have enjoyed this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.